Welcome back to Paneer and Pancakes. I'm Vaaruni Joshi, and grab a snack, get comfy, and let's dive right in. So today's episode is about the many aspects of Indian food in the USA, which I think I'm pretty well versed in. So, let's get started. First of all, I think fusion food can be a hit or a miss. Like, sometimes it's pretty good, like samosa pizza, but other times I'm just like, no, like, who invented this and like why? I'm not super against Indo-Chinese. Like, I don't like it that much, but I know like it's a lot of people like it a lot, so that's not really what I'm talking about. More things like different cheesecakes that are flavored in like brownie barfi and like stuff like this. I don't know, it's just a little overrated, right? Mixing desserts is a little too far for me. Like gulab jamun ice cream, not it. That's not it, sorry. And I also think like sometimes it's a way, like fusion food, to attract like more customers who like might not be Indian. And like I find that kind of funny because then like the spice levels have to be lowered and like everything has to be changed and like kind of like made a little bit more, I guess, like Americanized, which I think all the restaurants know too, because like they do that to sell it. But I feel like that kind of sometimes ruins the point of eating Indian food. Like, if you're gonna eat it, like, don't you want to eat it for the authenticity? Like, why are you eating it? So that it's something you're kind of comfortable with. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I guess that's just like my take on it. Like, I understand like maybe like easing yourself into it or something, but like come on, like, just eat it. Like, it's not that bad. Yeah. I guess like the only other fusion food that I'm like okay with besides like samosa pizza is like Indian pasta, because I like Indian pasta because it's just pasta with like masalas in it, and it's just like, it's good. Okay, like, I'm sorry, like, it's good. Yeah. And I also feel like fusion like food, like specifically fusion snacks, like they can't beat like true Indian snacks. Like, yes, it's all packaged and yes, it all comes from retail, but like I think it's still so much better than like pumpkin jalebi. And no, I'm not lying about that one. It's a legitimate thing. I saw it on the internet. Yeah. And like the whole like experience of like the snack style and like all of it, like all of Indian grocery stores are so iconic. Like, it's literally, it's so crowded on the weekends, but like otherwise, like, it's so much fun because there's like so many options and it's so chaotic like all the time. It's like hilarious, honestly. And I think it's because like obviously like when like initially like an Indian grocery store pops up in like an area, it like kind of creates like Indian plazas. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's just like literally just restaurants and clothing and like jewelers and like everything comes up like after an Indian store opens. Like, there's like 2 or 3 of those around me because like it's just how it happens. Like, once you have an Indian store there, that whole plaza, it's like, sorry, it's gone. And like it's so good for business and everything and for the community and everything, like, but it's like honestly hilarious because they become such like hubbub like spots. Like, they become so popular like in your neighborhood, like in your, not neighborhood, like in your community. Like, everybody knows what you're talking about. Like even like with my friends and stuff, like, oh yeah, like I'm going over here, and they'd be like, oh wait, like what, like which one of like the plazas is that in? And like obviously everybody knows what you're talking about. And like 2 to 3 like good Indian restaurants in your like area or like county or whatever. It's like honestly, you're really lucky if you have 2 or 3, because just a couple years ago we had like barely one like actually decent one, and now we have like a good few. Like, I am so glad because we have like more options now. But yeah, it's like really like kind of iconic because like they just know exactly what you're talking about all the time. And I think like that's so important for like the community, because like food always has brought like people together, like literally like generations and generations ago. Sorry, my AP world history is kicking in, guys. No, but like generally like food is like one of like the main parts of your culture, so it like makes sense that's where like the grocery store is where it starts. But I kind of find it kind of funny because it's like patient zero. Like, how is the grocery store the point of origin for Indian Plaza? But like, yeah, I guess I think that food like always kind of brings people together. And like I think Indian food, like for me, because it's like such a part of my daily life, like I literally eat it like every day, like it's so comforting. And like I think it's like it kind of like cultivates like social circles too, I guess, because like you see the same food at like weddings and parties, and like when you're at home, like obviously there's like simpler things and it's not all just like snacks, but like it's so crucial to like being like an Indian, and like honestly I'm kind of glad that has been like affected and modernized too much. Like I know there's fusion food and everything, but I still think that a lot of people do a really good job of like not letting that be one of the parts of the great cultural divide, which I talk about so much. Like if you're going to have things be affected, which makes sense because this is obviously not like, it's a blending of two cultures, I think I'm glad that it's not the food. Like, because I honestly, like, I find it absolutely hilarious when like some of the food is like really mild, because I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, like, yeah, like we didn't really think that dish was gonna sell, so we just made it just like for people who want to come in and try it, like don't really know what Indian food is. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm really lucky to have so many like good places around me, and like I know like this is like not like, I know there's like so many like crazy like Indian hubbubs like in America where there's just like so many Indians living in one city that you have so many restaurants. Like I think like I'm pretty lucky, like I have 2 or 3 good ones, but like it's growing, like it's definitely growing, like population wise and also like plaza wise. Like some of these plazas, like my god, like I have literally, I don't remember last time, like there's just like 6 restaurants in a row, like hello, like how do you choose? Like it's so hard. But yeah, I think like I said, like food is so important, like especially I think like even to me, like food's like so important, like to, I know I said this already, but like bringing people together, but also I guess like it's like a good way to like introduce people to your culture, you know, like I just said, like fusion food and everything, not the best way to do it. Honestly, if you're going to introduce somebody to like Indian culture and you want to start with food, be like authentic and like put them like straight like onto it. Like don't do all like none of that nonsense like gulab jamun ice cream stuff. Like literally just have them like have like a proper Indian meal, because like that's the only way to like really like start learning, because you just have to dive head first. Because honestly, like some of this food is like really good, guys. Like some of the restaurants too, like they do like, I know like there's like a whole stigma like, oh, like restaurant food, like nothing's as good as like home cooked food, but some of these restaurants are starting to like nail like having that, like I don't know what it is, like kind of like taste and like touch of like it's still being home cooked food. Obviously home cooked meals are better, like I'm literally an Indian, like I like home cooked food, but like I think it's like actually insane like how much like food is so important. Like even like if I'm going to like somebody's like one of my friends' parties, like I don't really know anybody there, like I don't really know like what's going on, like the one thing I can count on is like I know what the food is gonna be and I can eat the food, because that's like the one thing that's like still comforting and like still like kind of always, they're kind of constant. Wow, that got really deep. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I ranted so much right now. Oh my god, all I do is rant on this podcast. I said that so much, but like literally all I do is come on here and like pick a topic and I just like talk about it for like 7 or 8 minutes, and then I just sit here and like blab about it. It's like so funny. Anyway, I have something else to say. Oh yeah, also it's that like food, like I guess like no matter like what part of the world you're in, like you can probably find an Indian restaurant wherever you go. Like I am not joking. I have traveled, like not like I'm not like crazy traveler or anything, like we travel like mostly in the US and everything, but like my god, like the places where I found Indian food is actually insane. Like I found Indian food on the side of the highway, like a freeway, like a proper freeway. Some of the best Indian food I've had, and it was literally just this like little tiny store next to a gas station in California. It was insane. Like it was actually crazy. Like I did not like authentic. It was like family, like I was like, what on earth is this? Like where did this even come from? And I've had Indian food in like Puerto Rico. Insane. Like a room full of Indians, like not even that big of a room, guys, and like it was like insane. Like it wasn't like the best food ever, but I was like shocked, like how, like where did this even come from? Like I don't, yeah, basically Indian food hits, okay. Anyway, I'd like to mention really quickly that the next episode probably won't be out until mid-ish May because of AP exams, and all of that very fun stuff. But like, please stay tuned for more info, because if I'm really lucky and I'm like super productive and like I do not fall behind schedule whatsoever and I'm like an academic weapon, then it might be out sooner than that, but I highly doubt it. So yeah, good luck on your exams and on your finals and your AP exams and your final projects, etc, and like everything, and go walk in and become an academic weapon, guys. I'll see you on the other side of this next month, which is going to be insane. So yeah, thanks for listening to Paneer and Pancakes. Don't forget to subscribe and review us on Spotify and YouTube, and follow us on Instagram and for updates and more content. Thanks for tuning in today, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.